It's Rock 1053, Q1033. It is a free comedy Friday, and we can't tell you how thrilled we are to have our next guest in studio. We're very excited because we're massive fans. Jeremy Piven is hanging out with us in studio. He's performing at the American Comedy Company. Couple shows tonight, couple shows tomorrow night. Coming off a couple shows last night.
Wow.
Man, you are just rocking it right now, Jeremy. Killing it.
Yeah, someone has to, and it's me.
I just
thank
feel
you guys
bad
for having me on.
Yeah, I do feel bad because I mean you got up early. You had shows last night,
Late
you
last
know,
night.
and we were having a good conversation. I thought off the air, and Jeremy compared it to waterboarding, which immediately made me. I go, I guess, but you're just tired.
No, listen. I was attempting to make some jokes, and you threw me under the bus. No, it's all good. This will be the last time I ever see you.
Jeremy!
No,
I just said, remember, big fan.
No, it's adorable.
It's a good time to definitely be in San Diego right now. We're
absolutely. Listen,
crazy
I was
now.
out to 1,000,000 o'clock
Yeah.
at American Comedy Company. That's my favorite room in the country. I'm not just saying.
Is that for real?
Yeah, it's an incredible room.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, people should. It's almost like the people that know that it's a great comedy room. You get the best comics on the planet, and me there. But yeah, I mean, it's known that it's just a hot room.
Yeah.
Like for whatever reason, people feel comfortable to just be present, have a great time, and laugh, and comics feel great doing it. So I'm just happy to be there, and you know, like your buddy Bert, I'm
Crusher.
I'm sold out, but I'm here anyway, and contribute to you guys. So I'm being humble and celebrating myself.
That's impressive.
Well done.
That is impressive. Jeremy, are some people still surprised that you're doing stand-up? Because everybody knows you, from the movies and TV shows and all that stuff. Are they somewhat surprised that you're out there doing stand-up?
I think they're surprised that I'm actually doing stand-up because they didn't know that I do it.
Yeah, I had no idea.
No one knows because I haven't put out intentionally. I haven't just put out. Actually, no. I just started for the first time. Started airing some clips out on the website for American Comedy Co. But until I kind of document my series, the special, I didn't want to put anything out there yet and have it be a surprise.
Before you started doing, the movies and the TV shows and stuff like that, did you do stand-up before?
Well, my background is in sketch comedy, which is Second City, and you're with a group of people and you're improvising, doing written stuff. So stand-up per se, like strict, straight stand-up, isn't my background. And I love being doubted and counted out, because people are like, look, well, if you haven't done that, then you're going to be viciously mediocre. So I welcome you to come to the American Comedy Company.
It's like a challenge.
Yeah. I love a good challenge.
Nice. Yeah, it's funny you said that.
Like this show.
Right, there it is. It's very similar. I did see one of your clips, when you're talking about promoting the show, and I was laughing really hard about you talking about The Rock. And, you were saying about how The Rock, he didn't take any acting classes, and now he's the biggest star in the world. Whereas you're a trained professional.
It doesn't sound funny when you say it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
It's like sort of called setting you up there, Jeremy.
No, you set me up for failure.
No, okay, I don't feel like
it's adorable. I love it. I love it. Okay. No, I didn't. It's so interesting. When someone's reading your act, like in court, you can be... It's not funny.
Yeah.
And when you basically saying that I'm saying The Rock didn't study, no, it's I was you know what? Come on down to the American Comedy Company tonight.
I didn't.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
No,
I love it. I love it. It's fantastic. It's all good. The Rock is the highest paid actor in the world, and what I said last night was, well, actually, it's all good. We're gonna keep going. I love it. He's got Black Adam. I'm here to promote The Rock. Black Adam, and then Black Panther next weekend, and I've got a movie called White Craig coming out on the 12th of November.
My point of bringing that up was that we were actually having a conversation in here about certain actors doing films for the paycheck, which you'll see. And you'll go, because of the thing of Julia Roberts and George Clooney, I kind of feel like that's a paycheck
that's
movie.
Hurtful.
No offense. No offense. These guys are pumped for that movie. Where I go, I don't know that if I'm looking at that script, I don't know that that's screaming Oscar worthy for me, but that was just me.
Yeah.
And I go, when you do movies, do you know right away, like, okay, obviously old school, so fantastic. When you read a script like that, do you know right away these are going to be huge hits, or do you know?
Well, that's a great call.
Yeah.
Old school, you definitely knew. I remember.
You felt that.
Yeah, Todd Phillips, who wrote that, and Joker, and a million other brilliant movies. When I read that, I just thought, I just have to be in this movie. And then I asked my agent. He's like, yeah. I said, what about this role? Like, that's Will Ferrell. What about this role? Oh, that's Luke Wilson. What about this role? So you know, all the roles were taken. Vince Vaughn, brilliant cast.
Yes.
And I was like, is there anything left? And he goes, the only thing left is the nerdy dean. And I was like, well, I'll do anything in this movie. It's so funny.
It's a classic.
And so they said, okay, go audition for Todd Phillips. And I went and did, and got the role, thank God. And it was just so fun, and that movie holds up. So that's a great example of reading a script and knowing that
that was going to be good.
It's going to be really, really good. And then there are other movies that, like, you just never know. I have a movie coming out next Friday called The System with Tyrese and Terrence Howard, who are, and I saw it, and it really works. It's like you would think, oh, I don't want to go see an action prison film.
Oh.
But it's also about many different things, and about the privatization of prisons, and the fact that they're not about rehabilitation. And it's also, there are a lot of great fight sequences, and everyone's just kind of like steps up and does a great job, and I'm just proud to be a part of that one, and that's going to be like kind of a sleeper.
What are you in the movie?
Well, it's funny, I was reading the script and I was like, this is a prison movie, am I the fresh meat? And I'm like, oh wait, no, I'm the racist warden?
Oh no.
Oh, you are.
Oh no.
Wow, Jeremy.
Dang.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like, you have a tendency to be the role of the dean and the warden. And
Yeah.
what do you think that is? What is that about you?
I think this is a therapy.
Yeah.
No, you know what's interesting is, like, you as an actor, you have to take the roles that are available, to even audition for and make the most of them. That's your job. And so I learned an incredible lesson, always. It's always a lesson. And so I bought the rights to this short story by Arthur Miller, who's a Pulitzer Prize winning author, who's a genius, and I've been developing this movie for 12 years, and we finally finished it. It's
no way.
Called The Performance, and I play a tap dancer, a Jewish tap dancer that ends up dancing for Hitler, and we finish it, and we're in post now, and it's the best work of my life, and
So it's a serious role, obviously, right?
Yeah, and what I was going to say is, you brought up, why do you think you're playing like the abrasive agent or the racist woman?
Right.
Well, it's like, it's up to us to write our own scripts, literally and figuratively, in this life, so that if I know I can contribute in another way, I have to find the project, nurture it, and just run through walls to get it made, and then I'm also playing a coach of the Knicks in 1950s that basically, helps orchestrate the first black player in the NBA, and that's called Sweetwater. That comes out next year as well. So I'm playing like real dimensional, big-hearted characters,
That's crazy.
Along with racist wardens.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can also rail against the universe and say, hey, why am I only playing these roles? But it's up to you to find great roles.
For sure. Now, did you have to learn how to tap dance for real?
Yeah.
Get out of here. How tough is that?
Take? Yeah.
It took 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so, like, literally, you could tap dance, like, do a whole thing.
I mean,
a routine.
I can, and
wow.
And I did, and
that's really impressive.
Well, I mean, I had no choice, really.
Yeah. If you want to do the role.
And by the way,
they can't fix that up in post.
Well, I thought that they were going to, you think, oh, I'm going to get this movie made, and then each year it wasn't made. It's frustrating, and yet I got better as a tap dancer. So it's like a metaphor for life. It's like, you can beat yourself up, or you can just continue to get better.
Yeah.
You can either take that victim mentality, or you embrace it and work your ass off.
That's wild.
I've never taken the easy way out.
Do you have a preference? Because obviously these are serious roles that you're talking about, but you are known for comedy. You're performing at the American Comedy Company this weekend. Do you have a preference to doing comedy or serious, or does it matter?
I think that they both exist at the same time, and that's what's so fun about it. I learned that growing up and working with my parents. And I grew up in the Piven theater, and we never thought of any materials one or the other. You know, it was always like life. Life can be very tragic, like this moment right now, or funny, you know, the next moment. You know what I mean? Like that's the way life is. It's not just a comedy or a tragedy. So you know, even with the performance, this movie that I've been after for a decade, there are moments where it's funny and then it gets very heavy, and that's so I don't think of it as one or the other. I think they both kind of coexist.
That's cool.
Now, obviously, Entourage, one of my favorite shows of all time. Kevin Conley and me actually went to the same high school.
Okay.
How about that?
Me
No
and
one
Kevin
cares.
are actually both high school Hall of Famers at our high school.
I don't know how
Okay,
that's
I mean,
possible.
Jeremy worked with them all the time.
I know.
I'm
just saying, I never met him, but high school Hall of Fame. Now, I love Ari, one of the best characters ever. But I loved when you were on Seinfeld playing like a mock George Costanza.
Yeah.
On Jerry's show, Jerry on the show.
We were just talking about the greatest sitcom characters
like
of all time.
You nailed Costanza. Did you audition for that prior, or did you? I've always wanted to ask you that.
I auditioned for that while I was on the Larry Sanders Show a million years ago.
Wow.
And I
For the character of George, or
correct.
okay.
Yeah. And I at the time was living basically in a pool house, even though I was on a series. I had this kind of hardworking Chicago theater mentality, and so I didn't have my own like place, and I didn't have a TV, and I auditioned for Seinfeld, having never seen the show.
Wow.
No way.
What?
So
Wow.
I ran to Jason Alexander in the parking lot. We were talking, and so I just did my impersonation of Jason Alexander, having never seen. I was on Seinfeld and had never seen Seinfeld.
That's
crazy.
wild.
It's
Yeah.
dead on.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
It's wild.
Which, by the way, I think is a great metaphor for life. Like, I mean, they were the Beatles, and they were, you know, to this day the show was brilliant, and I didn't have a reference for them, so I just met these guys who were really cool and sweet to me, and I got a chance to do this really fun role, and Larry David's a genius, but I wasn't so enamored with them that it was awkward.
Yeah, for
which
sure.
is kind of like, you know, the way to be.
Paid off, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, listen, I don't know if you can somehow hook up with a friend to go to a show, because
Get
like these
a
shows are
ticket.
sold out. But
Yeah.
listen, Jeremy, it was a pleasure having you in here. Go check them out if you can at the American Comedy Company. A couple shows tonight.
Listen,
couple shows
unlike
tomorrow
Bert
night.
Kreischer, I will be back.
I like hearing that.
Oh,
I like
nice.
hearing that, Jeremy.
We love Bert. We
That I
celebrate
do.
that.
That's awesome. I have a kind of a sense